student. Today we are going to look at revision on squares, square root, cubes, cube roots and reciprocals. These are the topics that we have recently covered in our previous lessons. So that's why we are revising them to get to understand these concepts and to be able to solve mathematical problems when you encounter them in our examinations. So to start off, today we use a question which is on the board. Use reciprocal tables to find the value of 1 over 0.325, hence evaluate the cube root of 0.00125 over 0.325. So another way that we can write this is the cube root of 0.000125 times 1 over 0.325. So this way is simply the same as this. So when you look at what you have been told to find from our reciprocal tables, it's right here. So that's where we are going to insert our result. So to start off, we look for the cube root of 0.000125. So we can write it down as 125 times 10 raised to power negative 6. So since it's simple mathematics, the cube root of 125 is 5. But you can also look at your mathematical tables where you do the reverse of the cubing process. You look at the cubes table and you will find 125, pardon me, you will find 125 in the main column and you will get your cube root. So times 10 raised to power, remember when we are looking for the cube root, we divided the power by 3. So we'll get 10 raised to power negative 2, whereby our cube root will be 0.05. Now to go to our next step, where we have to find 1 over 0.325. So this is also the same as 0.325 raised to power negative 1. So when we've been given 1 over 0.325, we are simply looking for the reciprocal of 0.325. Now to draw your attention to, before that, we have to write this 0.325 raised to power negative 1 in the form of a times 10 raised to power n, so that we can read it off of our mathematical tables. So it will be 3.25 times 10 raised to power negative 1, since we are making a smaller number bigger. So now to draw your attention to the extract of the tables, where we look for 3.2 under the x column and 5 under the main column, such that the reciprocal is 0.3077. So that's our reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 3.25 from the tables is 0.3077. Remember our 10 raised to power negative 1, the reciprocal, since you are multiplying by the power is negative 1, our 10 takes a positive sign, it is 10 raised to power 1. So our reciprocal is 3.077. This is the reciprocal of 0.325. So the next step is we take the cube root that we got, 0.05, multiplied by the reciprocal of 0.325, which is 3.077, and we get 1.5385. So this is the solution to our problem. So learners, as we continue on the revision to our second question, where we are supposed to use tables of squares and reciprocals to evaluate to four significant figures, 1 over 24.56 plus 4.346 squared. Now, how do we go about this question? So 1 over 24.56 is simply the reciprocal of 24.56. So you are looking from what's been written on the question. You're looking for the reciprocal of 24.56 raised to power negative 1. That is, so we continue with the process of looking for reciprocals of numbers. So 24.56 raised to power negative 1 is, remember the form a times 10 raised to power n. 2.456 times 10. The n takes a positive number. We are making a big number small. So we go to our mathematical tables. Remember that it's raised to power negative 1. We go to our extracts. So on the column of x we have 2.4. We go to the main column, we have 0.4082, which is, we've reached that stage so far. So 2.45, we've gotten 0.4082. We go to the differences column, that is the subtract column for the case of the reciprocal tables, where we read off the column of 6, which is 10. So it comes to our, what you've gotten from our maths table, we subtract 10 directly, remember, 2, so that's 7. So we've reached this stage so far. Remember our 10 raised to power 1, since it was positive, the 10 takes a negative sign. So it is 10 raised to power negative 1. To finish off with finding our reciprocal, 0.4072 times 10 raised to power negative 1. Therefore, the reciprocal is 0.04072. To continue with the next part of our question, we have 4.346 squared. 4.346 squared. So we'll go to our table of squares from our mathematical tables. As you can see, we read off 4.3 from the column of x and 4 from the main column. We get that the square is 18.836. Remember we had another significant figure, 6, which is in the add column. We have add 52. So we come here. So far 4.34 gives us 18.836. 6 from the differences column. So we are supposed to add 52. So allow me to continue over here. 18.836. We add 52 directly. We get 18.888. So we found the square root of the square of 4.346. Now the last part of our question, where we take the reciprocal of 24.56, which is 0.04072 plus 18.888, which is the square of 4.346. And what do we get? So we get 18.93. So that's the answer to. So to our third question in this revision section, where we are to find read the question. Use tables to evaluate correct to 2 decimal places 1 over the square root of 0.02468 plus 0.1468 cubed. So how do we solve this? First, we take 1 over 0.024, the cube, rather 1 over the square root of 0.02468, which is the reciprocal of the square root of 0.2468. It's the reciprocal of this value. So what do we do? First, we need to find the square root of 0.02468. The square root of 0.02468. 0.648. So as to be able to read it off our mathematical tables, we'll express it in the form a times 10 raised to power n, where we have 2.468 times 10 raised to power negative 2. We are making a small number bigger. So this is square root. Should remember that. To go to our extract, we have 2.4. We read it off, or pardon me, it's the square root of 2.4, where we have 2.4 on the main column. We go to the main column rather, we have 2.4 on the x column. We go to 6 on the main column, where we have 1.5684. We have the add column, where we have our 8, which is 26. So to write it down, where we end off 2.46, we have 5684 rather. 5684. And then we add from the differences column, we have 26. We add that, we have 0, we have 1, 11, 1.571. So this is the square root of 2.468. Remember, we had our 10 raised to power negative 2. We divide the power by 2, we get 10 raised to power negative 1. So we have 1.5710 times 10 raised to power negative 1. We have 0.1571. The 0 is not really necessary, which is the square root of 0.02468. So we continue, we get the cube of 1.468. Allow me to round this section. I have 0.1468 cube. So first things first, we need to express it in the form a times 10 raised to power n. Have 1.468 times 10. We move the decimal by one step, which is 1, negative 1. We are making a small number bigger. So we'll go to our mathematical table and read off 1.468. So we have 1.4, where we have each on the x column. We go to the main column, we have 6, we have 3.112, and we go to the differences, the add column, we have 8, so which is 50. So we have 3.112. From the add column, we add 50 directly to the number, have 2, 6. So this is our cube. Remember, we had our 10 raised to power negative 1. We also cube this. We'll get 10 raised to power negative 3. So we'll come and take our 3.162 times 10 raised to power negative 3. So we'll get 0.003162. So the last part of the question, what we'll do, we'll add the results of our two. So to correct on what I've said, first things first, before we add our results, we need to find the reciprocal of 0.1571. So we find the reciprocal of 0.1571 is to power negative 1. So that's the reciprocal. We express it in the form a times 10 raised to power n. We have 1.571 times 10 raised to power negative 1. To move on, we go to our reciprocal tables. We have 1.5 on the x column. Go to the main column, we have 7 rather, which is 0.6369. On the subtract column, we find the column of 1, which has the value 4. Have 0.6 0.369. We subtract 4 directly from the number of 0.6365. Remember our 10 raised to the power negative 1, the reciprocal, we get a positive number, that is for the value of n, which now becomes 10 raised to power 1. So it is 0.6365 times 10 raised to the power 1. So we'll get 6.365. So we found the reciprocal of 0.1571. We finished this part of the question, if you can remember where we started, and we've also found the cube of 1.468, which is 0.003162. Now we'll come and add these two results together to complete our mathematical problem. 6.365 plus 0.003162. So what do we get? It is 6.368162. Remember that we are supposed to evaluate and give our answer to 2 decimal places, which will earn us the final mark. So to 2 decimal places, we'll round off the 3rd decimal place, which is 8. So we get 6.37 as our final answer. So learner, at that junction we have reached the end of our worked examples for revision on squares, square roots, cubes, cube roots and reciprocals. So to leave you, I have an assignment that we need to do so as to polish up on these skills that we have been learning over the past few lessons.